So tell me, have you been in a toxic job? I've been in quite a few toxic jobs. Right now, I'm very lucky, and I'm in a good job. I did a video about a month ago about issues that I was having at work, but that just had to do with the software system, and I'm feeling a lot better at my job right now. But yeah, I've had a few toxic jobs in my life. One job, um, they would actually call you stupid. This was back in the 90s. The 90s was definitely a different place to be working. In the office, there was no, things just were totally different. There was no issue with people calling you stupid, and it was just something you accepted. And there was people in our office that like to go out the night before and drink and come in, and they'd still be hungover, which made them quite grumpy to work around. Um, Anyways, enough about that job. It was a long time ago. Another toxic job I had was the job I had before where I am right now. And the job was so bad, they were actually going through mediation in the office. There was one person in particular that was making life miserable for everybody. And I remember one conversation when I first started there. She was training me, and I was trying to take notes on what she was training me. And she actually said to me, "Oh, no, no, you don't take notes on my time. You take that on your own time." On my own time, meaning when I'm not working. So that would be non paid time to take my notes. Well, for one thing, no. And another thing, how am I supposed to make notes on what you're training me on like later? I need to be writing this down as you're training me. But anyway, she was kind of an awful person. And I believe she was the reason we were going through mediation. Anyway, in that office, once we started going through mediation, it wasn't good. They would have a few group sessions, but nobody would say anything. And then we'd have individual sessions, and I think they were trying to get us to say stuff, but we had no clue what they were trying to say, and it was just a waste of time, in my opinion. In that office as well, we had more work than what we could do, and it was just basically, oh well, the work needs to be done, so just get it done. And then they would add other things like training, and that was mandatory training too, and you put that on top of work that you can't get done and training, and yeah, that was pretty terrible too. um, and then there came a point too when we weren't allowed to, basically, I don't think, have any personality. We were just supposed to sit at our desks and work. When we first moved into this new office, because we were in a new office, I'd put a few, like, not, I guess they were jokes, and maybe some motivational things. Like, they were not inappropriate or anything. Put them up on the wall just for us to see where the public couldn't see them, because things like that just makes your day a little bit nicer. And there came a point towards the end of my working there where they were like, no, we have to take those jokes down. It's not good for in the office. We don't need that in our environment. Um, there was a few of us that had plants on our desks. And, no, you can't have plants on your desk anymore. So you need to take them home or we're going to throw them out. And other things like if you were like 1 minute late, then you would get reprimanded. Yet at the end of the day, it'd be like 5 o'clock, and our manager would come out and start talking to us. And it's like, no, no, no. You want me to be at my desk at 8 o'clock? Then I get to leave right at 5. Um, it was just, it was just a very toxic office. I can't even explain all the toxic things that happened in the meetings. I remember there was one time when I was in there, and we weren't supposed to eat on our desk, which to me is fine. But they were getting very particular, even like just about having something small on your desk, like just to tide you over throughout the day. And I'd mentioned, well, that's fine, but then the other office, because we did have two offices, they need to be on the same rules. They shouldn't be allowed to eat at our desks either. And I was told that that office was different. They were allowed to eat at their desks, and that we were lucky that we were allowed to drink coffee at our desks. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, for one thing, I didn't drink coffee. I usually just had water or pop on my desk. But that just goes to show how much control they wanted to try and have over us, that we couldn't like do these types of things. Um, I wasn't happy in there too, and it was a silly thing too. Like we were all kind of crammed in one office. We didn't have cubicles or anything, so like it was quite distracting even working in there, just with everybody's being able to see everybody's movements and conversations on the phone and stuff. Oh, and we had one girl that worked with us, and she was quite funny. Um, she wasn't funny. She just really didn't do her work. And she would be on the phone talking to people, and she would like literally just get tired of listening to them mid conversation and just hang up the phone. And then we would have to, when they'd call back, somebody else would have to deal with them. But like those are the types of people that were in our office. Um, that was unbelievable. Um, Other things that happened in there. Dealing with the public also became quite stressful on me. Um, because they can be pretty nasty, and the work that we did didn't bring out the best in people all the time. So I decided it was time to start looking for another job. So I did look for another job under the same umbrella that I worked, but in a different area, totally different from where I was. And when I was offered a job, it was a term position. And we were given the opportunities as well to leave our positions to go work for a term elsewhere. And they just flat out told me no, I couldn't do that. There's no reason why they couldn't have done that, because that's something that's regularly practiced in my work environment. But they just decided it was a control thing. So at that point, I decided, yeah, I'm ready to leave. So I know how things work. I know if I took this other job and I did my job well, that it would turn into something permanent. So that is what I did. I left that job and went to this other job that was a permanent job. And I absolutely have no regrets. I, um, right now, where I work, I am allowed to, how I call it is spread my wings, because I was so confined to just doing your job, and you couldn't do anything else. You couldn't do any learning. You couldn't, it felt like almost like you had to ask to the go to the bathroom. It was almost felt like that. And where I am now, like I do my job well. And when I am done my duties, I can also do self learning on my job. Of course, it's to do with my job and to make my job better. Um, I'm also told too that, well, we all are told that we're doing our jobs well, and we're told that we are appreciated. And that makes all the difference in the world, is being told that you're appreciated. And we are allowed to have our personalities. And we are allowed to have a work life balance, which to me is great. For example, last night my dog had a seizure. He's never had one, so we were quite concerned about that. So I asked if I could work from home today, and was told, yes, you can work from home today for sure. Things like that. Or if I'm sick, I can work from home rather than going into the office. It's very, I don't like to use the word flexible, because we are doing our jobs and we are putting in our hours. It's just a wonderful place to work, and my management is amazing. And I can talk to my management when I was having issues with my computer. Um, Learning a new computer system, I had a really rough time, and I was able to express exactly how I felt without fear of being fired or being looked down on or being treated poorly after that. They want to actually work with you to make sure that your work-life balance is good, and that you are a valuable employee, and that you feel like a valued person. And that to me is an excellent work environment. I couldn't ask for anything better. And yeah, so what are your work experiences with a toxic environment or non toxic environments? Please let me know in the comments. And if these are conversations that you like to listen to, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. And I'll talk with you again.